But anyway, that's when those laws were promulgated, and I think it's rather presumptuous of the United States government to tell them what to do. Now, they're not telling them in a nice manner. They're saying Americans are avoiding taxes by having accounts in your country. And that may be true. But people wouldn't be hiding money, if they were in fact doing that, in Switzerland, unless the laws for taxation in the United States were not onerous. And that goes for Europe as well. And evidently, all of the politicians and others have moved all their money out of Switzerland, so they don't care anymore. I don't know where they moved it to. If it was Liechtenstein, they got a problem because the German secret police paid somebody off big money. I think it was $5 million to give up a bunch of accounts in Liechtenstein of Germans. And then they went and tried to prosecute the Germans, some of them in the government. And so I don't know where they're hiding their money now. But anyway, and I don't really care, because the taxes are onerous and the wars are horrible. And the waste and the socialism, and now we got Marxism. I mean, this guy that we got for president is a Marxist. He just took over for the corporatist fascists that just left. I mean, we get some real beauties. But anyway, what's the outcome going to be? I do not think that the Swiss are going to bend on this. And there will be sanctions against Switzerland. And I think that in the final analysis something will be worked out, but it won't be on secrecy. And but this battle is going to go on for years. That Judge Gold in Miami is going to tell UBS that they have to give up the records. It's open and shut. And the Swiss are going to say, well, under our law, we can't do that. Goodbye. So then there will be diplomatic talks, and that'll go on for a couple of years. And then finally the United States will say, all right, we're going to cut off all your banking connections and all this kind of thing. And by that time we'll be in the middle of the Third World War. So I don't think anybody's going to worry about it. As far as the Swiss franc bonds are concerned, the treasuries, if you feel squeamish at all, just take that money out of the bonds and put it in a better place. Gold and silver coins and shares. That's not a hard decision to make. End of story.
And we got about 2 minutes left. According to German Justice Minister Brigitte Seibries, said German officials were considering issuing an EU-wide warrant because the ultra-conservative Bishop Williamson denied the Holocaust in a Swedish television interview that was recorded in Germany.
Well, that's normal. Germany has a law that says you cannot question the Holocaust. And that's their business. And they also can try to get this bishop extradited. Whether they do or not remains to be seen. They probably will. And they'll probably put him in jail for 5 or 10 years like they've done a number of others. I have misgivings about that because there always should be free and open debate. There's nothing that is open and shut. And I've never seen free and open debate anywhere except in Tehran about a year ago. I mean, that's not really the proper place to have it. I think both sides should come together and present their evidence, and we get a final answer to what happened and how it happened. And if it did happen, I wasn't there. And most of the people alive today were not there. So I don't know what they did. I've heard lots of stories from both sides. So let's get a committee of those against and those for that governments will agree to, that whatever comes out of that meeting, that's what they'll stand by. And the representatives of each side will present what they think people should be thinking about in relation to that, and then we won't have this argument anymore.
And I do believe we are down at the bottom of the hour for the break. 800-375-4188. And boy, it's been a long week, and I am looking forward.
Oh, God. Oh, complain.
I will be working all weekend long. But I
work 8 hours, 8 days a week, my dear.
I pretty much do, too.
Yeah, but playing with the dogs.
Every once in a while. It's good to close early. We'll be back after this. And thank you for joining us this afternoon. You're listening to Financial Survival, sponsored by Discount Gold and Silver Trading. I'm Melody Cedarstrom, 1-800-375-4188 for your complimentary issue to the International Forecaster. And Bob, would you like to tell us about the International Forecaster, please?
The Forecaster is about business, finance, economics, and social and political issues all over the world. We send out by email on Wednesdays and Saturdays an issue, and it runs 35 pages or so each time. And we have a hard copy that goes out twice a month for those who are not on the Internet. And if you'd like to go look at our site, that address is theinternationalforecaster.com. The International, Forecaster.com. Or if you'd like to email us, and please note, this is a new email address. I shortened it up. And that is Bob at INT Forecaster, INTFORECASTER.com.
And then for a complimentary issue, give us a call at 800-375-4188. That's 800-375-4188. And you did shorten it up a little bit, and I need to do that with my website too. But you know what? You just get so busy and sidetracked, and you just don't get around to it. But give us a call for all your gold and silver coin needs. 800-375-4188. That's 800-375-4188. Here's a question. It's an interesting. I didn't look at the article that he sent, but he said explorers have found the wreckage of the 1744 HMS Victory and her tons of gold. What effect will this have on the gold market?
How many tons were there? 300?
4.
400.
Yeah.
First of all, gold like that will not be sold onto the bullion market because it came off the Victory. And I'm sure the bars are probably 75 or 80%, and I'm sure they're all misshapen and so on and so forth, the way they were manufactured. And they will be sold as collector's items. And if they're in bar form, which I assume they are, I don't think they get one big lump of 400 tons. Which incidentally really surprises me. 400 tons?
I don't know if it's 4. Is it 4 or 4 tons? 4 tons.
Is it 4?
4.
Yeah, well, that's more like it. And so they'll be sold that way, so it's not going to affect any prices. There'll be collectors for them there. I remember the Gellhauser went down in a storm in the China Sea, and they were carrying goods, not gold. And it was on its way to England. And they resurrected the ship about 30 years ago. And I had, and it was, the contents were sold off in England. And a friend of mine went to the auction and bought a whole bunch of stuff for me there. And of course, in time, the way we travel and move from place to place like gypsies, I don't even know where the stuff is today. But those things are auctioned.
And I know once in a while you'll have dealers, here that'll sell shipwreck coins, and they're not very good investments. So I mean, I guess if it's exciting to have one, I guess that's one thing. But you certainly don't want to put your hard-earned dollars into shipwreck coins because you get a whole lot of phony ones in there too. So, just stay away from them and stay with the common. No fuss, no muss, $20 gold pieces. Stay with U.S. coins, and you'll do very well. Here's another question. The U.S. government has increased its stake in Citigroup, bringing it closer to nationalization. The government will now control as much as 36% of Citigroup's common stock. Is it going the way of AIG?
And what percentage was that?
Now controls as much as 36%.